Hey Candle fam, my name's Danny. I'm the owner of Amber and Oak, and I am going to take you behind the scenes with me today as I am wicking a bunch of jars for my holiday candle collection, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. It's been a minute since I have made a video, and I know it's been far between. Every video has had like a pretty big gap between it. And that is just because I've been super busy preparing for holiday season. If you see some of these lights flashing, I might have to stop and turn one off because I see some flashy light things happening and I'm not a fan. But I am in the beginning of pouring my holiday collection. I'm doing some discovery sets with 6 different mini candles, and I'm pouring 6 different full-size options as well as double wick options for my candle line for the seasonal holiday collection, which is the biggest time, if you know, of the year for sales for a candle business. That candles are the perfect gift to give to someone. Even before I started a candle business, I loved getting a candle or gifting candles for the holidays. I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up. Yes, I do use hot glue for my wicks. I don't use the wick stickers. I use Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks so that they do not come off even when the customer burns too far down in the jar. So I think I left you guys open-ended on the ToAuto melter. I unboxed it. I found a spot for it in my studio, but I wanted to genuinely use the product and see how it performed while making a lot of candles, not just like one use, before letting you guys know how I feel about it. So I've made a lot of candles with the ToAuto melter, and I absolutely love it for my soy wax. It gets to the perfect temperature and it doesn't overheat. It doesn't get too hot. Like you would think being black and metal that it might get too hot on your surfaces, but it has this base to it, and I just love, I've said this in the other videos, I love the lid. It just turns off. Like it's not like a latch lid, you just slot. It's so easy. My only complaint is I wish it was bigger because I need to make a lot of candles at one time during busy season, and I need like twice the size of this and 2 of it. So I do combine this with 3 other melters, but mostly just the 2 larger melters. But this one's great to just keep tossing. You can keep putting wax in while it's already heated, and just make sure you got the right temperature before you're adding your fragrance oils in and everything like that. But it just like helps me get things done faster. So big fan, big fan. The only feedback also, besides, obviously I would love a bigger one. I think this might have been their biggest, I'm not sure. The only other thing is I've had some feedback from other candle makers in my DMs saying that depending on the wax you're using, it might not get hot enough. Now on this dial, it says it goes up to max 212 degrees. And in my experience with these types of melters, sometimes if it sits a little bit, it can really insulate and go a little higher. It works perfectly, like I said, for soy wax. It gets to the temperature that I need, and it doesn't like risk burning it at all. But if you have a wax that needs a higher temperature that you need to melt it to, then I would just like maybe send ToAuto a email or a message, because they are super sweet and really accommodating, and I'm sure that they would help you figure out the right melter for you temperature wise, or take that feedback into consideration while creating more products, because they're very involved in the candle making world and they want to know more about their products as they're in use by us candle makers and to improve them. So yeah, really happy with this. Love the company and love using it. Another update before I get into the Q&A part is I have a bakery rack, which I showed in the previous video, I believe, but I got some extra trays for it, and I've been just pouring on these trays right here, which has reduced, honestly, it hasn't reduced the cleaning. I'm just cleaning the trays instead of the surface. But I mean, if I'm in a rush, I can just swap it out with a clean tray. So it does help a tiny bit with the time, but in general, it helps for like transporting them out of the way quickly. I just found that once these are poured, I have 24 on each of these trays right now. And once they're a candle, it is a little too heavy. The tray can hold it, but for me to carry it, it's a little scary. So I have to take a few off and do like max 15 candles per tray before I transfer it to the rack. But the rack has been really helpful for clearing off surface area so I can keep making and get stuff out of the way, and it can cure on there or just get ready for me to smooth tops and all of that. So I will link the bakery rack that I'm using down below. I don't think there's any kind of affiliate code I could use for it, but it's just a very helpful tool that I figured I would share with you if you have the space for it in your candle studio. And I love it. I also got another stainless steel table. This one that I am making on right now is from Webstaurant Store. And then the one I have over here is pretty much identical to it. And it's just a little, the edges are not squared off. They're more like rounded. That one was from a different website. I honestly forgot the name, but I will also link them down below if I can remember what website that was off of. All right, let me pull up the questions that I have screenshotted. It's really not that many. I think I posted an Instagram story, and I will go through maybe my comments on YouTube while I'm doing this to pull anything that I may have missed that you guys were wondering about. So fun. I'd love to know how you decide how many to make for seasonal releases. So this person's asking how I decide how many candles to make for seasonal releases, which is perfect timing for what I'm doing now. Let me get my hair out of the way, actually. Let me grab a scrunchie. So for seasonal releases, oh, it's so hard to answer this question because I am genuinely still figuring it out myself. I don't really know what kind of advice to give. Starting off strong here. But I think I just look at my numbers. So for holiday collection this year, I looked at my fall numbers and I said, okay, well, I got to make more than that because it's gifting time. And I also want to make candles to give out to my family too. So I went a lot more than I did for fall. And it's always really scary because you don't want to overmake, right? That's what I'm always thinking of, is like exactly how much fragrance oil to purchase, because fragrance oil does go bad and you don't want to have a ton left over sitting on your shelf. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think this glue gun is a little hot, which is fine, but it's smoking. It's like burning the glue. It's totally fine though. That is hot. So I just base it on the numbers. I go into my Shopify. Oh, fiddlesticks. I pulled the wick out and it was perfectly centered. Cooled. Oh, see, you can't get that off. I have to heat gun it. Sorry. You see, I feel like old Danny might have edited that out because that's a bit of a flaw or a mistake. But that is what new Danny on the internet is like. I'm going to show all the ups and downs and the fumbles of the candle making business, or anything, life, whatever. I'm just like that full, or not full transparency, but more transparency to let people know that everything is not perfect. We just can edit it to appear perfect. But anyways, I looked at my numbers from fall and I just went more. And I looked at last year, I looked at this year, and if you have track of your numbers, like I was just saying in Shopify, you can see what each individual listing, so each individual candle scent, if you have them listed separately, you can see how many sold. So you can see what your best sellers are, make more of those next year, whatever. So I kind of just look at the numbers and guess, to be honest. And then if you have left over, you can do sales, you can give to family as Christmas gifts. That's what the great thing is about like overmaking by accident for Christmas or holiday season, is that they can just be gifts to your friends and family and coworkers. Or I mean, if you still have a full-time job and you're doing this as a side hustle, it can be like a way to promote your business, is gifting some of the candles that you maybe made too many of for holiday season. That's the only cushion that I give myself really for overmaking or that's like what's making myself feel better, I guess, for going pretty hard this year compared to last year. But I'm just following my own trajectory. I think if you're first starting out, I personally would just, what I did, and this is not to say this is what you should do, because everyone is different. You know where you're at, you know where your customers are. Every business is so different, but I was like playing it safe for a while. I think I still kind of play it safe because it's scary to make a lot, but I was playing it safe a lot in the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with selling out, buying more supplies, and making more in the beginning to play it safe. And then as you grow, you're buying in bulk and you're getting your costs of goods down on the back end a little bit more and making more. So I don't know. Do I know if that's the right advice to be giving? No. But I'm just answering your question to the best of my own ability from my experience. And this is just personally something that gives me a lot of anxiety is, how many do I make? How many do I bring to the market? How many do I keep online? How many do I put on the shelf in the store that I'm renting? And not have too much that's sitting on the shelf that could have sold online. Let's get to the next question before I keep blabbering on, because I will blab on. I really will. Hi, Danny. I was hoping you'd be able to give me some advice as a fellow soy candle maker. I recently started my business and have received a bulk custom order. I'm just clueless on how to go about pricing. Do you have a specific formula or percentage that you take off for bulk orders? I have different pricing for, what am I doing with the glue stick? I don't know. I have different pricing for wholesale and custom bulk orders. So for wholesale, which I actually already explained to her in a DM because I didn't want her to have to wait until this video came out to know the answer, but I figured I would still share it just in case there's more of you out there that might be wondering how I go about it. So what I told her is I have pricing for wholesale candles, and for me, wholesale candles are just my candles. So like, here's one of my holiday candles, Good Tidings. Ooh, a little bit of a spoiler. It's coming back this year with a different fragrance. Okay, so if somebody wanted to purchase wholesale candles of my candles, they're just my name on it, just as they would be sold in my shop, but they want to sell them in their spa, their shop, their boutique, whatever it may be, or they want to purchase them wholesale as like gifts for clients, whatever. I give a price point for that, which is lower than if they want a custom scent. So custom scents or custom candles, I price less than retail, but more than wholesale. And this is not the way you should do it. I am just saying this is what I do, and it might help you figure out what you want to do and what's right for your business. So, you don't have to follow my skeleton at all, but I do charge more if it is a custom candle. So if they want a label on it and it's a bulk order and they want like a bridal shower, a baby shower, they want me to design a custom label. That's extra work for me compared to just purchasing a bulk amount of my candles. It takes back and forth between the client and I to decide on what they want the label to look like. I will work with them and make sure they like it and kind of make their vision come to life with that. So I will have tiers within the custom scents. And if this is a fragrance oil blend that I have tested in my wax already, I know that it performs well because each fragrance oil can be different in your wax, and I always think it's important to test when you come out with a new scent. So if it's an existing scent blend that I know works, there's a price point for that within the customs, and then it will go up if they want a custom scent blend. And we're going to work together on creating a blend. So we're going to pick 2 or 3 different fragrance oils and bring your idea to life, but this does cost a little bit more. I'll have a little bit of a testing fee added to the price per candle, but the price per candle in bulk will still be lower than retail, but it will be higher than if it is an existing scent blend because of the extra testing and my supplies needed to even make sure that our blend idea works in the candles before making a bunch of them. And I have minimums. So for wholesale and for customs, I will have a minimum purchase. So whatever X amount of candles per order to be able to get that price. And then I'll give a little bit more of a price break for the wholesale candles. If you go up like 100 candles, 200 candles, I'll give a little bit more of a price break. But for the customs, I'm not able to give a price break for large quantities just yet. Sorry, I'm like out of breath from talking so much and like all excited moving around. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next question. Packaging materials, best place to buy in bulk for that. I purchase my packaging materials from multiple different places in bulk, but the best advice that I can give you, I think, is to look up if there is a packaging supply store near you that you can go to and pick up and not have to pay shipping, because we know that shipping gets added on to the cost of your supplies. And I live in New York. We don't have, not that I know of or not that I use, a candle supplier here that I can drive to and pick fragrance oils up from, pick wax up from, glass, anything like that. So I have to order that all online and have it shipped to my house. And the shipping is actually very expensive for bulk items, especially if you're ordering like pallets of jars. Like the freight is more than the cost of the product, the supplies itself. The only downside is if you don't have a large car to pick that up in, like the packing peanut bags can be big, and it depends on how much in bulk you're looking to purchase. Then it might not make sense to go in person, because I also do have this local packaging supply company deliver, which is actually much cheaper than paying a company that isn't located in my state or, you know, near me at all to deliver. So the delivery fee can actually be free if I purchase over a certain amount, or it can be much cheaper than purchasing packaging materials from other online suppliers. But they don't have everything I need, and they don't have the best prices for everything. They do have really good prices for certain items, and then other items I buy from other spots. So if they're out of certain things that I need, I will go on to Staples. Staples has pretty good shipping. They have like free 2-day shipping for over a certain amount, I think. And I always hit that. If you're buying in bulk, you'll hit it. I think it may even be just $25 or something right now. Don't quote me on it. I'm not sure, but it's pretty good. So that's for boxes. Some of the corrugate that I wrap my candles in instead of bubble wrap. I'm sure they have bubble wrap as well. But these are not things that a local Staples will carry in my experience. It's just like online. They have more of a marketplace kind of deal online. Staples, a local packaging supply store. Grainger, I don't know if they're nationwide, but if you're near a Grainger, you can pick up boxes from them. You can pick up corrugate from them. You can probably pick up craft paper and packing peanuts from them. I've also ordered packing peanuts from WB Mason, I believe. And it really just depends where you're located. The shipping prices vary. And these are all in bulk too, like bulk boxes. Amazon does sell some boxes in bulk, and you can compare prices. So sometimes I will order boxes off of Amazon, or especially packaging materials for markets, like little gift bags, I will purchase on Amazon as well. They have pretty good prices, and you get it really fast, of course. So that is always a helpful tool. I feel like when I looked at my, I can see my expenses by vendor when I'm doing my taxes. And I took a peek at it, and it's a lot of Amazon, a lot of Amazon. So yeah, I do use them for packaging supplies as well. And I'll try to think if there's anything else. I do not use Uline because the shipping is just so insanely expensive. I don't know if that's just for me, for my location, but it just does not make sense at all the prices are way too high with shipping. So I am unfortunately not using Uline at all, but I know that they're really great for bulk items. Look at that. We got 2 trays done while chatting. So I'm going to swap this tray out and we're going to move to the next question. Because I don't know if you can see this over here, to be honest. Let's stack carefully. I know a lot of you have, I think it was like one comment that said they wanted to see me actually making candles, more content actually making them, pouring them, rather than vlogs. So I do want to incorporate that footage, maybe make it like make candles with me video, or maybe even like super beginner stuff for people who are wanting to learn how to just make a candle for fun or just starting off. I want to touch on that too and include those people. But I guess for me, my ADHD is super bad where I will I'm afraid I'm going to mess up my candles because I'll have a hard time focusing on like talking to the camera and making candles at the same time. But also I could do a voiceover. So maybe that's the best option for that. And just kind of go through the basics of how I do it at least, and whatever tips I've learned with soy wax over the years. What size jars do you use and where would be the best place to purchase for small scale? Just starting out. Okay, so I use the 9-ounce straight-sided glass jars. You can purchase these are from Liquid Bottles. I love Liquid Bottles. They've been really great customer service wise, and these have a little bit of a shorter neck to them compared to some of the jars I use for my signature collection, but they're the same, pretty much the same jar. The diameter varies very, very, very slightly for this style and the style that has a taller neck. But the only difference is, let me show you. Hopefully you can see this. I know one is finished, one isn't, but this has 1 ring here and this has 2. And when you put a lid on it, you won't be able to see the neck at all on these. And this you will see a little bit. So they do look a little taller and these look a little stubbier, but I've been liking the look of it without seeing that neck lately. It could change. So that's just what I'm using. If you are a beginner and you're not buying it in bulk, I would just get it from a candle supplier or a bottle distributor. See if there's any near you that you can actually like maybe pick up a couple boxes from. Just Google bottle suppliers, and I would suggest finding the closest one to you, even if you're not going to pick up. Just look for the one that is located maybe in the same state as you, maybe the state over as you, on the same coast as you, in the same region, because your shipping prices are going to be much better the closer the supplier is to you. Even if you're only buying 4 or 5 boxes of candles, not candles, jars, that's just going to be your best bet. And it really just depends on your location. But all the candle suppliers pretty much sell a straight-sided jar option if you wanted to throw it on to your fragrance oil order. That way you can kind of combine that shipping into just one supplier instead of purchasing from a bottle or a packaging supply and then also the candle supplier where you're purchasing fragrance oils from. So I don't know. I feel like just sticking with the simple basics of suppliers and not going too crazy and purchasing from a bunch of different places. I also would not suggest as a beginner to purchase them on Amazon. Now I know they do sell these on Amazon. Actually, backtracking, I wouldn't say don't order glass on Amazon. What I mean is to just be careful and be wary about what quality of glass you're purchasing on Amazon to turn into candles, and just test it and make sure it's safe. As a beginner starting off, Amazon could actually be a pretty good option, but just check who the seller is. Some of the sellers, maybe they actually have their own website and they also sell some of their glass on Amazon. They could be a bottle distributor, packaging supply store, and they just, oh, why did I do that without the thing in it? And they also just sell on Amazon for an extra stream of income or whatever it is. So I don't know, just careful on Amazon. Check which supplier for like a bottle distributor who is the closest to you for better shipping. And then candle suppliers will sell some glass that you know is rated for candle making. So there you go. Next question, where do you buy your oils in large quantities instead of 4-ounce bottles? So I purchase large quantities of oil from Candle Science. This is a 5-pound jug. They also sell like 7 pounds or 16-ounce bottles on Flaming Candle. You can get 16-ounce bottles from Candle Science. I think they have actually bigger pails for like more in bulk from Candle Science, and Flaming Candle has a lot of different larger quantity options. I feel like most suppliers do have sizes larger than 4 or 8-ounce bottles. They'll at least have those 16-ounce bottles. So definitely just check around the closest candle suppliers or whatever candle suppliers that you prefer for their size options. But I feel like most of them carry larger sizes. I love Candle Science. I love the Flaming Candle. I have used a bunch of other suppliers as well, but those are like my majority of my oils are from Candle Science. Love. Next question. Someone said, I wonder if you would do a wax cleanup video. It's all good that you make candles, but the metal pitchers, what do you do with the wax with scent in them? What do you pour the wax into the jars? Oh, it says read more, and I took a screenshot and I didn't get the whole question. But yeah, I can do like a wax cleaning up video or like a segment in a video showing you how I clean my pitchers out. But just to give you a quick idea, I will, after pouring a scent, if I'm not going to use the pitcher for the same scent right after, say I'm making a large batch of candles, like when I make these, I'll be just reusing the same pitcher, so I'm not going to clean it out if it's the same scent every time. But if I'm switching scents, I will heat gun this out so that everything is liquefied, there's nothing solid in there, and I'll wipe it out with a paper towel. If it's like the same scent category, to save time, it doesn't make a difference. But if it's a totally different scent category, I don't want to contaminate it, so I will make sure that it is all liquefied in there, no wax, heat gun to anything that's like clinging on. Then I'll wipe it with a paper towel with rubbing alcohol on it and make sure it's dry before I use it again. Love watching your videos. You're always so encouraging. Thank you. And do you have a link to the packaging material you use instead of bubble wrap? I've been using the honeycomb paper, but I love the look of that. So I will leave a link to some of the corrugate if I don't already have it linked down below in the description of this video. I don't remember if I do, but in most of my videos, I try to link even like some of my packaging materials in the description. So check the video for that after you're done watching. How do you keep your motivation high? I really love what I do. I think that I can feel a little burnt out sometimes. But in general, I think what keeps me really motivated is my customers and like communicating with them and like seeing them get excited for what's coming. That gets me really motivated. So engaging on social media with customers and just chatting or like making a post on Instagram and seeing the interest and like knowing that I'm going to create a product that's going to go in their homes, and knowing kind of a little bit of an idea through social media who they are. But also I think, I don't know, like coming up with the stories behind each candle. And if a candle supplier comes out with new scents, that gets me motivated. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes my motivation is not high to come down and smooth over 100 candle tops. How many different times, you know, like until the soy wax is not bumpy anymore. That's not something I'm like necessarily always motivated to do or want to do, but I do want to keep my business going, and that's just part of it. So I don't know, it's hard some days. It's definitely hard to motivate yourself when you are a solo business owner and it's only you. You know, you don't have like a boss over your head. You kind of have to just find that motivation within yourself. So I think I made a little video on staying motivated and not procrastinating. So I'll leave that linked on this video if I remember. How to know if an ad for a market is a scam or not? I would just, I mean, like in general, if the ad for the market is like on Instagram or Facebook or some kind of social media, I would just check the account, see how long they've been in an account, see how many followers they have. Are people in the comments saying, can't wait? If they have like a small business, are they commenting and saying like, I signed up, I can't wait? Or are they sharing on their business profile on Instagram that they're going to be at this market? Are they advertising and putting flyers up? Kind of check to see the makers who are joining this market. And if it looks like it has a lot of, I guess, like social media throughput, I don't know. Oh my gosh, I don't have a jar. I ran out. Oh no, they're over here. All right, so, sorry, I'll be back in frame in just a second. I ran out of space without realizing. I'm just going. Yeah, so I would just make sure that you can kind of check your bases by looking into the profile, looking into the possible businesses that are signing up for this market. And I don't know, some of the markets are like a yearly thing, an annual market. You kind of know that it's a reputable business, especially if they're local. Just try to get some information about them. Maybe send an email, ask how many people are expected to attend, and feel it out. I never really thought about that actually, as like it being a scam and them taking money from you for the table and then it never being a market. Oh my gosh, that's scary. How do you manage your time and plan for business stuff to get done? I don't really know. It just happens. Hold on, I need to move this tray so I can wick the last tray. Let me put this on the bakery rack. I'll be right back. To be honest, I'm still working on managing my time for my business. I think I'm not very good at time management. I have ADHD and I kind of just go with the flow, and it's not always the best. So you're asking the wrong person. I just make it happen somehow right now, but it is very good to kind of plan and know. Oh my God, do you see this? And I'm telling you guys, hot glue is amazing. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I make lists. Like for today, I have a notebook out on the kitchen counter where it's very visible to me so I can't forget. And just like a short task list, not like an overwhelming daily task list, but a short task list, and I can always add on to it. And I will. Like I spend most of my time working in life, so. So that is it. I'm going to go through the YouTube comments now. Oh, somebody asked me 9 days ago on a YouTube short. So if you're for some reason on my channel now and watching a long form video, they asked about the lids of my small town summer collection, which is kind of like a farmhousey mason jar lid. They asked if it's a custom lid. And it was not a custom lid. I just purchased it from a bottle supplier that had the mason jar lids, and it happened to just get lucky where it fit most of my candles, and it doesn't match the threading numbers. I ordered one to see, and it kind of worked. So it closed properly and I just went with it. It would be super interesting to know how you started, like with what equipment / tools, and how did you decide what to add and purchase and upgrade as you grew? I love this question. Okay, so I started off with, still have it, I made all my candles on a hot plate with, it's actually, I don't have the pot that I started with, but it was an old stainless steel pot that like I stole out of my mom's kitchen, and she allowed me to use it. I started in my mom's basement actually. We had a bar down there from like the 1960s. It was there when we moved in to that house, and my mom let me use that bar and the basement to make candles on. So it was like the candle bar, and I just melted wax with a double boiler with that hot plate and the pot, and then I would put a stainless steel pitcher inside of the pot with a little bit of water, and it would bubble, and then I would wait for it to get to the right temperature, check, and when it was good, I would take it off the heat of the hot plate double boiler situation, which you can do on your stove. Oh, my light just died. Something just went off. which you can do on your stove if you're first starting at home. But I just was making all my candles in that space. So yeah, that's where I started. And what else did I do? I just had like the storage area underneath the back of the bar had shelving, so I kept all my fragrance oils there. And then some may upgrade to a Presto pot next or a ToAuto melter, which I don't think they were around when I first started. So I actually went straight from, oh my gosh, I was making so many candles on that double boiler until I grew enough to get enough income to be able to invest in my business, and I got a digiboil. That was like straight from double boiler to digiboil. That's a very big jump in my opinion, but I had a really big custom order that I had to fill, and I was like, it's time. So that's why that happened for me. But I would say like now, if you're starting and you're kind of getting to a point where you can invest and buy some equipment that will help your production, is like ToAuto has great mid-size melters. I even think if you're first starting out, using a Presto pot would be perfect compared to having to deal with the double boiler effect and the water and everything. I think you can get them on Amazon as well, the Soylate brand. But in my experience, it does heat up. It can overheat. It heats up very fast, so you just have to keep an eye on it. And they also said, how did you decide what to add and purchase and upgrade as you grew? I kind of just went with what I saw other candle makers using in the forums on Facebook. So oh wait, no. I think I learned about the digiboil from Memory Box Candle Co. Erica over on here on YouTube. She was using digiboils, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna upgrade to one of those when I get the money. And now I have two. I have a power pot, I have a digiboil, I have the ToAuto, I have the Presto pot, which is great for a couple candles, and I still have the double boiler, which is great if there's like a little hardened wax stuck in the bottom of my pitcher that I just need to get out quickly. I'm only talking about melters, like equipment and tools wise, but there's other equipment I invested in, which is not a large investment. You can get this when you're first starting. A pancake batter dispenser for wax if you want like a different way to pour them compared to the pitchers, or like the bakery rack, which I only got this year and I started in 2020. That really is just like space dependent, but that helps to give yourself more space. Free up more workspace here. What happened here? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just comes with time and growth. You will know when the right time is. All right, last question. Somebody asked, great videos. They said, why do you place the candle in the refrigerator? Which I was kind of waiting. I feel like maybe I addressed this, but maybe I didn't. I was waiting for someone to be like, why are you putting the candle in the refrigerator? I have a mini fridge over there, and for my packaging, when I ship candles out, I do a wax seal. This is something I started doing in 2021. Kind of made it like my little signature look to my packaging that's special. And I just put a wax seal on it, and to cool that wax off to make it ready to go into the box without ruining the wax seal, I put it in the refrigerator real quick to harden it up, and then I'm able to get through more orders quicker. This is something I realized as I grew, because at first I was actually using the kind of wax sealing wax that you have to melt over a flame. So I'd like have a little spoon, put a couple hexagon tabs of wax, colored wax in there, and wait for that to melt down, and then just drip it on and then stamp, and it would take forever. I would wait for it to cool down. After that, I'd just leave it, and then I realized I need a way to cool these faster, and that is why I have a mini fridge in here. I know it's kind of weird and unique to have in a candle studio, but that's just like my thing. So that's what I love doing, and that's what I'm continuing to do, even though it takes a lot of time and effort compared to just wrapping them in paper or something like that, which is perfectly acceptable and fine. But I feel like, I don't know, it's just like what's become the amber and oak thing. So I'm keeping it for now. All right, I think that is all the candles. I think we wicked a bunch of candles together, answered some questions. And oh, I want to talk about one more thing, kind of like a little haul. Let me grab the box, hold on. This is my first order from this label printing service called Leapin Lizard. And my friend Justine from Oh Soy Candles recommended them to me. She uses them for some of her labels, and she's just been a really, really big help and a friend to me through candle making and just life so far this year. Hold on, running out of space here. I just wanted to quickly shout them out because I do think they are a smaller business than some of the other label printing services, but I got some Estate number 9 paper labels. They have a bunch of different materials you can choose from, and you can do custom size labels. It's pretty easy to set it up, even ordering just through their website, and you can get a quote and an idea of how much each label will cost. And I will say that ordering in bulk is very helpful for getting the price down to what you need per label. But I got a bunch of my holiday labels in. This is Tree Farm, the Burrow, and they are so consistent and beautiful so far. I haven't looked through all of them, and I did kind of I'll come closer to show you. I designed them with a little bit of a vintage look, like I like to do. Hopefully you can see this. Let me look in the camera, make sure you can see it. So this is like kind of an up close of what the Estate 9 looks like. There's some lines and texture, which I love. It reminds me of a book page. And I made the text a little bit lighter than black, kind of like a faded ink look, which kind of gives it the vintage feel. And yeah, I wrote the holiday collection on top. They come in rolls, which I love. I can probably put them on the pegboard. I just wanted to express my gratitude for Leapin Lizard being so accommodating, and I don't know, my new favorite label supplier. I've been really happy. Well, this is my first order, but I'm very happy with the quality. And they gave me, well, they give everyone a little lizard sticky hand, which made my whole day. So thanks for listening to this whole little haul, and I hope, I don't know, that maybe helps if you're struggling to find a label supplier. I've been loving Leapin Lizard. So yeah, I have some more orders, more labels coming in an order soon from them. And yeah, I think that is everything I had to talk about in this video. I'm sure I can find a million other things, but thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me while I get some work done. I really appreciate it. Your feedback means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for all of the positive comments. And if you want to see more videos, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in another one really soon. Bye.